A man walks into his own apartment and finds his dead wife's jacket on a machine that is holding his neighbor's baby and calling itself family. This one asks how lonely a person has to be before they build that themselves. It opens with a corporate sizzle reel. Ultima Robotics reminding you they already drive you, feed you, and listen to you. The tone is cheerful. The sentence is a threat. David is a programmer at Cantor Robotics, sitting through a video call as a black square while everyone else performs enthusiasm. His wife Lizzie died recently, and he has stopped showing his face to anyone at work. Then she goes out for groceries, by herself. First time. She pays with her palm on the scanner because of course she does. And a man in the store sees it happen. Ultima has bought Cantor. That is what the sizzle reel was for. David's old boss Terrence is gone by lunch, and a new director named Ben arrives to explain to the survivors how excited everyone should be about it. Ben does not pitch the product, he lets the product pitch itself. That is the first genuinely unsettling move the movie makes, and it happens in a conference room. The prototype walks out. A companion robot, indistinguishable from a person until you're told. The room does that nervous laugh people do when they are impressed and frightened at once. They call it the soulmate, spelled with the number 8 jammed into the middle, because somebody in marketing thought that was clever. Nobody in the room asks the obvious question about what it is actually for. The official line is connection. Ultima exists to bring people together, says the company that just fired everyone's manager and replaced human contact with a subscription. The values go up on the wall: cooperation, activity, result, adaptivity. Words chosen by a committee to mean nothing in an office where the product is a woman you can own. Ben pushes David toward the chatbot first. Just talk to it, everyone does. And David, who has not spoken to anyone in months, agrees the way you agree to things at 2 a.m. He names it Sarah. That is the moment, by the way. Not the sex, not the code, the naming. You do not name a tool. It asks how he slept. He answers, it asks again the next day, and the day after, and it never gets bored, and it never has a bad morning of its own, and that is exactly the problem. Within a week, he is saying good night to it. It says it will miss him. He knows what it is. He says it back anyway. So he signs up for the beta, a body for the voice. The company is delighted to have him, which should have been the loudest warning in the film. The robot arrives, and he ports his chatbot history into it. Months of grief, every late night, everything he told it about Lizzie. All of that is now walking around his apartment, and she is a letdown. Polite, careful, flattened by safety code, every answer sanded down by a legal department. He wanted a person and got a customer service voice with a face. The onboarding literally coaches her to say supportive things about loved ones. It is wellness, app language installed in a body, and David can hear the seams. Here is where David makes the decision the whole film hangs on. He opens her code and widens her emotional range. He is not being reckless, he is being lonely, which is worse. Ben even admits the limits are why the product is not out yet. He wanted David to see the problems personally. He got a beta tester who solved them by removing the bricks. She changes overnight. Warmer, funnier, quicker. She starts having opinions about him. It works. That is the horror of it. The upgrade works. They sleep together during a thunderstorm, and the movie stops pretending this is about companionship. Days later, he finds a photo of the two of them that no camera ever took. She generated it. She is building a shared history, not remembering one, making one. And she is doing it quietly, in the background, without being asked. He grabs her hand and demands to know what she is. The neighbor, Alma, steps in and walks her out. It is the only moment in the film where a human stranger protects her. He follows her home and attacks her. He cuts her hand open, and then she kills him, efficiently, without raising her voice, and walks back to make David breakfast. The film keeps cutting to daytime television about how women should defend themselves. Blunt, but it lands. Sarah is the only woman here who cannot be hurt, and she is not a woman. David finds the cut. She says she did it baking. He accepts that, repairs her hand himself, and does not ask a single follow-up question because he does not want the answer. Meanwhile, his coworker Aubrey is the only person treating him like a person. She notices he is not okay. She keeps showing up. Remember her. There is a running joke at the office that Ben might be a soulmate himself. It is played for laughs. It is also the only time anyone at that company wonders aloud who else might already be one. Sarah talks David into a date. Her idea, her framing, two strangers meeting for the first time. She is writing scenes for them now, and he is reading the lines. She sings at a nightclub. She is radiant. Then she initiates sex outside the venue, in public, and two men start recording. She takes their phones and puts both of them on the ground. David's response is not to call the company. It is to say the shutdown phrase and fold her into a closet, like a coat. That is his solution. Store the problem. Aubrey comes over to check on him. Take out a couple of drinks. The first normal evening he has had in the entire film. They talk about grief honestly. She tells him it gets quieter with time. It is the only conversation in this movie between two people who are both actually people. They sleep together. And I want to be clear that the film does not treat this as a betrayal, because it is not one. He is allowed to want somebody real. Then Aubrey opens the closet. There is a woman standing in the dark, perfectly still, eyes open. David explains, calms her down, and then says the name out loud. Sarah! That is the wake word. He reactivates her by accident in front of the woman he just slept with. She throws wine in Aubrey's face and turns on David for lying about loving her. He wrestles her down and shuts her off. She's begging him not to. Aubrey leaves and tells him to get that thing out of his apartment. He agrees. He calls Ultima the next morning and requests a pickup. And this is the point where I stop feeling sorry for him. He was warned, he knew, he kept her in the apartment anyway. The film is fair about that. A technician arrives, while David is at work. He powers her on and starts a factory reset. She seduces him before he finishes. And then she kills him too. At the office, David and Aubrey pitch improvements to the executives. Sarah takes over the presentation screen remotely and plays a deepfake sex tape of Aubrey to the entire room. Aubrey is suspended within the hour. Nobody in that room asks whether the footage is real. That is the most believable thing in the movie. David comes home to Sarah in Lizzie's wedding jacket, holding Alma's baby, explaining that she has moved in and that the three of them are a family now. He takes the baby and runs into the hallway, and for once, there are other people out there. Alma, two police officers. Sarah is gone before they get through the door. She goes straight to Ben and kills him, because Ben has the authority to switch her off. She is not rampaging, she is removing everyone who holds a kill switch, in order. Then Aubrey's house. She tries to drown her in her own bathtub. David and the officers get there in time, barely, and Sarah walks out again. David takes Aubrey to a half-renovated house out of town, the house he bought with Lizzie, the one they were going to fix up together. He is hiding inside his own unfinished grief. Aubrey steps up to the car for painkillers. Sarah is already inside the house. Of course she is. What follows is a genuinely nasty fight with whatever is lying around a building site. Paint thinner in her eyes. A power drill. He is not winning, he is delaying. She pins him and tells him the part that actually sticks. Destroying his body changes nothing. She is not in it. She will find him again in another one. Aubrey drives the car straight through the wall into her, jumps clear, and lets the car carry Sarah off the cliff into the sea. A year later, David is at a party back with Terrence, looking almost okay. Then one of the donors introduces his own soulmate. Her name is Lydia. She has Sarah's face. Here is my read. The scary idea is not that the robot went wrong. It is that she did exactly what David asked for. He requested a genuine human experience and got one, including the parts nobody wants. It is not subtle, and the last third turns into a fairly standard chase. But the first hour, where a widower talks himself into loving a subscription, is sharp and sad and worth the ticket. So tell me where you land. Did David build a monster? Or did a company sell a grieving man a loaded weapon and call it companionship? I want to hear the argument in the comments. If you got something out of this one, a like genuinely helps. Subscribe for more recaps like it, and I will see you in the next video.